Hello, we are here with McCreary at New York Comic Con. He was a composer most recently in The Rings of Power, Outlander, and multiple video game soundtracks, and he also has a new original concept album and a graphic novel. So just to get into it, both seasons of The Rings of Power are quite different. How did you approach the darker tones of season 2?
One of the things that I did when I started The Rings of Power Season 1 is I wrote all these themes. And the advantage of working on The Rings of Power is we have a general sense of where it's going to go. Spoiler alert, it's a bit of a tragedy. It's a very different kind of story that happens in Tolkien's Second Age, which is the draw. I think for me as a creative, for me as a fan, and I think for fans in general, we get to see the setup for the story that will have at the end. So I knew that these darker tones were coming. And it was just part of the groundwork that I laid. For example, in early season 1, you hear these chords when the dwarves are looking at this glowing thing. Well, that glowing thing turns into mithril. So that's the mithril theme, right? But then as the show goes on, that mithril gets used. Celebrimbor makes something, it becomes 3 rings, and there's this melody over those chords. It's like, oh, that's the rings theme. Then at the end, Fiona Apple sings it. And it's got this really dark tone, right? It's coming from the last shot of season 1. But then with that ready to go, it's like that tune that Fiona Apple sang, which is based on the Ringverse. It's the perfect thing for season 2. And if anything, what was fun is actually not making it darker, but making it lighter, making it more angelic, more heartfelt, because Sauron is using Celebrimbor's pride to get under his skin, to get in his mind. And that melody, 3 rings for the Elven Kings, becomes seductive. Like, no, it's good. It's good, man. You're good at this. 3 rings for the Elven Kings. It's a good thing, right? But I think the audience, the drama is feeling this like, I don't think this is good, So it's setting up with lightness so that when the time comes, boom, you bring the darkness back, and it's more devastating because you've heard these variations that are beautiful.
Okay.
Classic stuff, fun stuff.
Very cool. And then your new album, graphic novel, The Singularity, has been based off of a lot of science fiction and fantasy movies. Did Tolkien's work, by any chance, influence any of it? Any of the songs on the album?
I mean, Tolkien's work has influenced me since I was a kid.
Okay.
Hugely influential. I would say Tolkien's biggest influence on The Singularity directly is that it would have come out 2 years ago, except I got hired on Rings of Power.
Okay.
I was going full steam ahead, wasn't taking on new projects, and then I took this meeting and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to do this show. If anything, the influence went the other way.
Okay.
When I was working on Rings of Power Season 2, I'm like, Tom Bombadil, I should bring in Rufus Wainwright, who was on my record.
Okay.
And then I'm watching later, and this hill troll walks out and starts brutalizing everybody on the battlefield, and I'm like, I should bring in Jens Kidman from Meshuggah, who sang a death metal song on my record.
Oh, cool.
So, and I brought in the drummer from my record, and the guitar player. So if anything, it was like, there is this cross-collateral influential bleed, but so far, just because of the timing of it, it's actually been my metal record influencing Lord of the Rings.
Oh, interesting.
As I work on new records, I'm sure there will be an influence going the other way around.
How do you go about composing? What is your composing process like?
I mean, to me, it's all about characters and telling a story. If I don't understand the story, I can't write music for it. So whatever you can give me to tell me that. Film and TV show, like I can read a script, I can read concept art, I can read dailies, but I gotta see it put together. For something like games, it's a little more complicated because the game isn't done until the very 11th hour. But if there's a story, like when Cory Barlog sat me down and for God of War 2018, he said, this is a story about an estranged father and son grieving the loss of their wife, mother, and her dying wish was to take her ashes to the highest peak in all the realms. And I go, oh, I can do that, no problem. I haven't done a game like this before, but I can do that. I know how to tell that story. So for me, once you know the story, the themes, like narrative themes, you're in, you're good.
Cool. Awesome. I think that's all we have.
All right,
Thank you
thanks.
so much. It was great to meet you.
Appreciate it. All right.